Huh?
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Thanks for joining us for today's Path of Exile livestream. We have a packed show today, with announcements for Path of Exile 2, as well as the exclusive unveiling of Path of Exile Affliction,
which launches
on December 8th on PC and Mac,
I'm not talking over
and on
him.
December 13th on console.
What do you say?
Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Huntsman wings. We'll start with Path of Exile 2, where Jonathan will walk you through our latest announcements. Mark will then take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Affliction Challenge League, which launches in 1 week. He'll cover the league mechanics, its rewards,
I can't remember
some
more
new
about
content
the
we're adding
honestly.
to the core Path of Exile experience,
Right now.
and some large metagame changes.
Large
I'll then show you our
metagame
annual core
changes.
supporter packs, and we'll head into our live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask us your questions from Twitch chat.
I'm good with that.
After the livestream, we'll drop the full patch notes.
I'd like to hand over to Jonathan Rogers,
dude.
Game Director of Path of Exile 2.
How am I gonna do that?
Hey guys, it's been a few months since we introduced you to the Druid in Path of Exile 2. But one of the things that we're really focusing on now is how varied each of the classes feels to play.
I'm
The
so
monk
mad
darts
that
around
patch
quickly
notes
from
today.
enemy to enemy, building and unleashing combos. If he doesn't stay in combat, he loses momentum and has to build it up again.
I'll probably look at the patch notes later, chat.
The warrior, on the other hand, is like a slow but unstoppable freight train. A warrior commits to big attacks and relies on stunning his enemies to stay safe in the thick of combat. When an opening presents itself, a warrior can use even larger attacks to demolish his enemies.
I'll move my mouse cursor fine.
The Huntress seamlessly moves from melee to ranged combat and back. The true damage potential of the Huntress is only unlocked when you learn to combine ranged and melee abilities together.
Javelin. Javelin. I'm playing Javelin.
And then there are the Spellcasters. The Sorceress is a pure caster who much prefers to stay at range and drop powerful spells on her foes. If she finds herself surrounded by enemies, she would rather use an ability to escape than to take them on directly. The Druid is also a spellcaster, but unlike the Sorceress, he uses his spells as a means to support his melee abilities. And by melee abilities, we mean he can turn into a giant animal and rip his enemies to pieces.
That's pretty cool.
Each of these classes feels extremely different to play, but we want to go even further. It's time to check out the Mercenary.
Mercenary.
There's not a job out there
I was gonna
won't take,
Crossbow.
so long as the pay's good and a crossbow can solve it.
I just don't know why he's fine, but it's basically a gun. Dude, it's a machine gun, dude. That's a shotgun. This is not a crossbow.
I'll take them all down, one bolt at a time.
When thinking about each new class, we really try to think about how we can make combat feel different from all the others. For the Mercenary, that difference is the crossbow. A crossbow is fundamentally different than a regular bow because it fires instantly instead of needing to be drawn back. This means that you need immediate feedback. Clicking the fire button should make the character shoot instantly, just like in a shooter. As soon as we experienced that, we realized that there are a lot of design lessons to learn from shooters, and so we fully embraced them. In Path of Exile 2, we have crossbows that work like sniper rifles,
It literally is a gunshot.
shotguns,
Wait,
and
what?
assault rifles.
Wait, dude. Okay, yeah. They've been like fully embracing it.
But in order to really get shooter-like gameplay, we wanted to go further. In Path of Exile 2, we now support WASD movement. You can now walk around in any direction independent of aiming. In fact, if this is your preferred method of gameplay, you can use it on any class, regardless of what weapon type you're using. You can change between click to move or WASD at any time.
Alright, dude. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm all down to try it.
You can only hold 2 crossbows at a time, but Path of Exile 2 is all about interesting combinations of abilities, and this is where ammo skills come in. This is a burst shot crossbow, and right now I have armor-piercing ammo equipped, which makes it very effective when facing a group of enemies, since it pierces right through them.
Bloody Horus!
But there are other ammos too. For a bigger, single target, it might be a good idea to switch to
This looks
Incendiary.
so weird to me.
The more projectiles hit
It's
the
so out of
target, the
place.
stronger the ignite, so you'll want to get up nice, close and personal with this one.
It probably feels good to play,
If you have a bunch of targets running at you, you might want to slow them down. In this case, you could switch to Permafrost Burst Shot. Shooting a bunch of smaller enemies at range will chill them, and potentially even freeze them in place.
This is not that slow, honestly. Compared to like early PoE, this is
Once
pretty
you have some
fast.
frozen enemies though, you can switch back to Armor Piercing. Shooting a frozen enemy with Armor Piercing Burst Shot will explode the ice, doing a huge amount of damage to all nearby enemies.
He's getting freaking destroyed.
Another feature crossbows have is attachments. This is a grenade launcher. As you can see, when I equip it, it appears on the underside of the crossbow. These attachments are just like skill gems, so you effectively get extra skill slots, and you can augment these with support gems, just like regular skills.
Wait, what?
These grenades take a while to explode, so it's a good idea to pair them with some kind of crowd control, like Permafrost Burst Shot.
Hate watching, and not hate watching, but like the gun thing's weird to me. It's probably fun to play, but like it's just weird to me. It just feels out of place.
We have other grenades too though. This attachment is a flash grenade. It does barely any damage, but it does a huge amount of stun. It can be a great opener before you run into combat.
Surprise!
Now, here's another attachment, an oil grenade. Firing one of these grenades coats the ground and nearby enemies in oil. Oil slows enemies down, so it's another useful crowd control mechanic.
I guess you're gonna ignite it. Let me guess you're gonna ignite it.
Now, another thing that oil can do is be set on fire.
Really?
Any burning
Oh,
enemy or
really?
explosion will ignite the oil, causing extra
okay.
burning damage. One of the problems with burst shot crossbows is that each pellet doesn't do much damage individually. This means that if enemies have armor, then it will be very effective preventing that damage. But thankfully, you can equip an additional crossbow in your second weapon set to deal with the weaknesses of your primary weapon. This is a rapid shot crossbow. Rapid shot is great for closing on enemies because you can shoot while running. In Path of Exile 2, we now have the ability to allow you to use some skills while moving. Being able to create skills like this opens up a lot of new design space and allows us to really increase the pace of combat.
Dude, this is not a crossbow, chat. This is not a crossbow.
The armor-piercing version of Rapid Shot slowly erodes a monster's armor. Once the armor is fully broken, you can easily switch back to Burst Shot to deal much more damage.
Fine. Freedom Barrel.
Being able to run while shooting with Rapid Shot is also great for when you want to perform a fighting retreat.
Reload!
I mean, I already used W to move in PoE, honestly.
Using permafrost ammo with Rapid Shot is also useful if you need to retreat. When you shoot the ground, it creates ice crystals. If you draw monsters back over these crystals, they explode, chilling the monsters. It's great if you want to set up a safe zone before pulling the next pack.
That's pretty cool, actually. You can tell they're trying
Throwing
to make
enemies
the
down can
play
come in
super
handy
slow.
if you want to use the incendiary version of Rapid Shot.
Make you
Using
think about
this
what you're
skill
doing.
requires that you charge up a little bit before it fires, but as it continues to heat up, it will do more and more damage. It has a really large clip size, so you can just keep firing and firing with it. But the other really useful feature is that when the crossbow is heated up, it adds extra fire damage to any grenade that you launch. Now I've been using explosive grenades here, but it will work equally as well with flash or oil grenades too. If you use it with oil grenades, the oil will catch fire immediately.
I mean, this is literally Grace and League of Legends, right? Friggin' shotgun. Dirt bombs.
Another crossbow type that you can find is Power Shot. This one works just like a classic sniper rifle. Use it with armor-piercing ammo and it will penetrate armor on targets, so it's a good idea to use when something's really tough.
I'm trying to play the ad now because I don't want to play during the actual PoE league announcement.
Now this skill has another interesting interaction
pause
with
it
armor
more.
break. If an enemy has its armor broken, then your Power Shot hits a weak spot and does a huge amount of single target damage, with a bunch of extra stun for good measure.
I want to play during the I'd rather play during this than the league announcement.
Now, the incendiary version of Power Shot is more like a rocket launcher. It does a big explosive blast at a distance. One of the really useful features of this version is that you can explode any grenades that happen to be on the ground. This combo also works really well with Incendiary Rapid Shot. I'm going to charge up the heat on my crossbow, shoot out a bunch of grenades, and then start the fireworks with a Power Shot. The ice version of Power Shot creates frost walls at a distance. This is great for crowd controlling monsters in tight passages.
Oh, frost wall.
The wall segments have other uses too. If they get destroyed by monsters, then they will explode, doing a small amount of damage.
Lock him in!
The monsters can kill the frost wall, huh? This is kind of clunky though, honestly. A
Now,
little bit.
remember
at
that
least.
burst shot combo with frozen enemies we did earlier? That works with ice walls too. Let's put burst shot back on.
These basically just look like freaking maces.
Now I can fill up this area with ice walls, then shoot them with armor-piercing burst shot for a huge amount of damage.
I'm not convinced about this shit. I'm not
Alright,
like.
it's time to
sold on
face
this
the
shit.
boss for this area. Let's see how we fare against her with all the skills I've shown you so far.
What's smooth is so. Yeah, that's fair. It's just slower.
shall take pleasure in your castration! Not letting you anywhere near him.
There's a freaking Dark Souls mob.
Stay still, the mother! No.
It might be this mob. What is that?
Rapid fire!
That's terrifying, dude. This fight's terrifying.
Take this!
This is not like a Kiwi, honestly. I just look bad. It just doesn't look like Kiwi.
Piercing shot!
He's getting destroyed.
Dismember! What is going on in this god's-forsaken city?
And that's the Mercenary. It feels totally different than anything we've made before,
Dude,
and shows you the range
what
of what's
the-
possible
what I
in Path of
watched?
Exile 2.
What did I just watch? If you told me that was like another random game I didn't know anything about, I would have believed you. I'm not sure if it's... I'm not saying it's bad.